Hello everyone and welcome to another pretty exciting video. As you may have heard, Doors just released their Garden Subfloor teaser trailer video, and in this video, I'll be giving my full in-depth analysis of stuff you may have missed in this trailer. Now, as you may have told, this video is completely unscripted on my part, so I may stutter a little, but it's fine. Anyways, this is just too exciting to ignore, so let's just get right into it. Courtyard. It looks relatively the same. However, when they open the small shed with the shears in it, you'll notice it has a bright yellow glow. This is because the subfloor as a whole is related to curious light, and the shears are needed to actually access the subfloor. And so, kind of to tie in curious light more into that, they made the shears in the courtyard have a yellow glow to signify curious light's presence. Other than that, nothing too much changed. Here is the new room 91 or 90. It's the entrance to the garden subfloor. We've seen this in a previous teaser, but as you can see, they unlock the door with the shears. There's the skull door, and they open it. Now we're getting into the new content. So here, oh, let me just go back a little. So this is basically a new room present in the garden subfloor. I think it's the entrance. There are a few things of note here. For one, if you look in the corner over here, you can see another small shear container. And so I guess you'll be able to contain, or sorry, you'll be able to obtain the shears multiple times throughout the garden subfloor, as it appears in the first room as well. You can also see the giant vine appear all throughout this one room, like right here and right here. This vine character is said to be very important to the subfloor, and it might even be the final boss. So for it to appear here, it's just a sign that, it's important. However, the most notable thing here is probably the new entity. So, as you probably saw, when the player approaches this fountain, all of these birds, they just go haywire. Like, here, let me replay it. They go close to the fountain, and all these birds start flying away. Now, these birds are a new entity. However, just like all the other animals indoors, they aren't real birds, but rather a strange mutation of birds. It may be a little hard to see here, but each bird doesn't actually have a face. What would be their face is just a giant hole with two glowing white eyes, which definitely does look a little creepy. I know it's dark, so it's kind of hard to tell, but if you brighten this image, it does look like that. Next up, we have this new outdoors room featuring a lake, as well as some other things like trees and a bench. Now, here we see something really interesting, which is the signs. Now, one says 2525 meters, and the other points to an exit. Now, this isn't the first time these signs appear in this one trailer, which leads me to believe that they might have something to do with the actual gameplay of the subfloor. A common theory I've seen floating around is that instead of actually going through rooms, you try to see how far you can get, or you maintain how far you travel into the subfloor rather than how many doors you go through. Which, I mean, is a really interesting concept. However, that's just how I interpreted what these signs mean. Now, something else I'd like to mention about this room specifically is the lake. Now, if you've been on this channel for a while, you've probably known that Wade, which is an aquatic entity, is planned to come to the game. And although they were originally planned to be in the mines, it's believed they would now be in the garden. Seeing how the entity is aquatic, we didn't know that it was confirmed they were going to be in the garden because we didn't get any knowledge if there was water there. However, now we know there is a lake in the garden, which means Wade could still be here. Still, this teaser doesn't provide any context that Wade would be in the game, but I just thought it was worth mentioning. As the teaser progresses, we don't actually hear, we feel a shake, and then this tree right here, it falls over. Now, this could just be an ambience thing. As you may recall, bookshelves in the hotel can just randomly fall to scare you. So this could be that, or because it was caused by a random shake, that shake that caused the tree to fall could be from an entity. However, we don't know what entity. Let's continue. This room is actually really interesting. So after a gate opens, we have two references to previous teasers. First thing here, we have this cabin, which is likely the cabin from that one teaser, which was very massive a while back, that revealed Abraham, as well as the groundskeeper, who we will touch up on later, might be coming to the subfloor, that cabin teaser. So this might actually be that cabin. And the other thing, this may be really hard to see, but if you brighten the image, it gets clearer. But on the floor, we can actually see the snare plant variant. If you recall, in a teaser a long while back, we revealed a new snare-like entity on the floor would come, which is just a hole with a bunch of leaves coming out of it. So on the ground, if you can really see, we can get a better look of that entity, and it is in fact a giant hole. Well, not giant, it's a small hole with a bunch of leaves sprouting out of it. I believe that this will be a new entity that functions like Snare, given how it kind of looks similar to Snare, but it definitely could be something else. But yeah, I just thought that was really cool how they brought back that entity. Then here, this is probably the most important part of the teaser. Hold on, let me just go back to the lightning part. But anyways, this shows a new graveyard room coming in the sub. There we go. So this is a new graveyard room coming in the subfloor, and the first thing I would like to note is this chapel right here. If we look closely, it actually has a locked door, and that is because this is the same room that houses the pink leaf item seen in a previous teaser. This item is the point of a lot of discussion and theorizing in the community, but now we know what the room it's actually inside of looks like. And of course, the absolute most crucial part of this entire teaser is what happens in the bottom left corner. We can see that spiky hat and a hand reach towards it and grab it. This hand is absolutely crucial, as it is actually the hand of the groundskeeper. Maybe a little hard to see, but that arm is made of vines, just like the groundskeeper's arm in its previous leaked model. This not only confirms the groundskeeper is coming because the hat and the arm both belong to the leaked model. However, it also is a sign that the entity did get a remodel, which is definitely a major improvement because the old model was outdated. And then, finally, after all of the dust clears, we get the reveal of the garden subfloor, or should I say, the outdoors. That is the official name of this subfloor, and it is set to be coming in the summer. So, all in all, this was an absolutely massive teaser. We were revealed the new crow entity, um, as well as the groundskeeper coming. Now, before I end off this video, there was one more thing I'd like to mention, and that is with these signs. Now, if we go, let me just try to find it here. If we go back to the final room, we can see that the signs appear there again, as in the same shot, I guess, of the lake room. This means that these signs will be reoccurring, which I definitely think means that they'll be part of a gameplay feature. If I had to guess, it would be like I said, that the player would, instead of focusing on going through as many doors as possible, they'll try to see how far they can get. And I think that might have to do with the groundskeeper. This is just a wild guess, but what I'm thinking is maybe the groundskeeper might chase you throughout the entire subfloor, and you have to see how far you can go without getting caught. That's just a theory, though. Anyways, with all of that being said, that is the entire briefing of this teaser, or it goes over everything I was able to find. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, because there are probably some things I didn't realize. And thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.